What is up, everybody? Coach Lucas here. Today, we're going to talk about getting into the zone and staying in the zone. This is something that if you learn how to master, you are going to be able to completely take over matches because that's really the name of the game. When it comes to mental training, mental performance, it's all about being able to get into that zone where you're playing at your best. And not just that, but also staying in that state of mind, staying in the zone over the course of the entire match. Okay. And so a lot of players, some players have trouble getting into the zone. Other players can get into the zone, but then they have trouble staying in the zone. Something happens, they get knocked out of their rhythm, and now they're losing their concentration, losing their focus, and things kind of fall apart. So today we're going to talk about how to get in the zone, and then we'll also talk about how to stay in the zone. And those are two kind of separate things, and we'll talk about that so that you can improve your performances on the pitch. So let's dive in. So the first thing that we want to focus on when it comes to getting in the zone is from a broad perspective, if the match is on a Saturday or a Sunday and you have this preparation period where you're preparing for the match. And so if you want to be able to get in the zone and play at your best, you need to have really good preparation the entire week leading up to the event. Okay, so exercise, taking care of your mobility, your stretching, your body, taking care of your body, and having good quality exercise so that you're fresh going into the match. Nutrition, good fuel into the body, not eating cruddy food so that that's impacting your energy in a negative way. So making sure you're eating really quality foods and having good fuel. Also, sleeping well, like getting good sleep so that you can have good energy going into the match. So those are like the prerequisites. Those are the necessities before you focus on any other tools or strategies or techniques to help you get into the zone. After you have those things in place, next is like, what do you do on game day? What do you do on match day to help you get into the zone? And one mistake that I would watch out for is overthinking about the match. A lot of players start thinking about the match as soon as they wake up, and between the time they wake up and the time the match starts, they've thought about the match so much that now by the time the match comes, they're mentally exhausted. And so a lot of pro players, a lot of high level players understand this because they've experienced this. Instead, they'll actually distract themselves so they're not thinking about the match. They'll listen to music, they'll play games, they'll play board games, or they'll play cards. They'll do something where they're distracting themselves so they're not thinking about the match. This is a really good way to conserve energy before a match on game day. Okay. Next, once the match comes, so if you're 90 minutes out, or let's say that 2 hour window, you're starting to approach 90 minutes from match from the first whistle, right? That's when you can start perhaps thinking about the match and thinking about preparing for the match. So thinking about your body, breathing, stretching, those types of things, and also getting your mind focused, okay? And that's really what you want to start doing in those 90 minutes is taking your mind away from focusing on the future or focusing on the past or perhaps daydreaming. You don't want to be doing those things. You want to be bringing your mind to the present moment. What's happening right here, right now, around me, bringing your awareness around you in the current present moment. And that's the zone. That's the zone, is the present moment. Now, in the match, everything's at high speed, but you're still thinking about the present moment and the actions you need to make in that specific present moment, that current moment. That's the zone in the match. And so you can start preparing for that prior to the match by simply being present, engaging with the people around you, acknowledging that they're there, being aware of what's going on, and being in the here and the now. What also helps with that is good quality breathing, being conscious of your breath. In fact, this is probably the number one way that you can bring your mind into the current present moment. Because if you're focusing on your breathing, that's going to be what's happening right here, right now. Is you are here, right now, and if you're consciously thinking about the breathing, that is helping you focus on what's happening right here and right now. So some quality deep breaths. This is also, some people call this meditation. You can call it meditation. So thinking about your breath, thinking about the present moment, getting your mind focused on the current moment, right here, right now. Okay. Now, in addition to that, again, we're talking about this 90-minute buildup. What you want to do mentally is make sure that you're not thinking about results. Okay. You're not going into this match thinking about results. Do you want to win? Of course you want to win. Everybody wants to win. But you shouldn't be thinking about what if we win, what if we lose, and hyper focusing on the result. That's not what you want. You want to be focusing on the competition itself. So loving the competition. The best players, they don't necessarily care about the result. They care about competing. Yes, part of that is a full blown will to win and a full blown focus and concentration in doing everything that you can to win, but they're not emotional about the result. They're focusing on the moment. That's the difference. Not thinking about the future and daydreaming about what's going to happen, but thinking about what do I need to do right here, right now to give myself the best chance to win. Okay. So focusing on the competition, not the result. Next is to help you get focused and help you get into the zone, you should have some sort of personal protocol, like a little step by step process that helps you prepare for the match in the right way. And for every single player, this little personal protocol can be different. So, for example, for me, pre-game, I would focus on my body. Okay, so warming up, focusing on my body because that's the current moment. That's right here, right now. What's tight? What's not tight? Am I prepared? Am I ready to explode? Or is my body prepared and ready? And if it's not, doing the right things to warm my body up and get my body prepared. So, again, consciously figuring out what's happening right here, right now, and that will help you get into the zone. So focusing on your body. So personal protocol. Number one, focusing on your body. Number two, breathing. Number three, when the whistle blows, you want to have some sort of focus. What are you going to do in the first 30 to 60 seconds? What are you going to do? What are you going to focus on in the first 30 to 60 seconds to get yourself into the match, right? So for me, I know that I would play at my best when my adrenaline was high, and that typically happened when I had physical contact. So I knew that when I made physical contact, that my adrenaline was high and I played really well. So I was purposeful in the first 30 to 60 seconds of the match to get body to body on someone or to make a tackle on someone or to engage in a 50-50 tackle, right? So this is something for you, like maybe for you it's about getting a shot off. So that could be your focus. Getting the ball, even if you're far from the goal, getting the ball, getting into the final third, getting some sort of shot off so you can get that energy going. These little things that are unique to you will serve you so that it helps you get into the zone. Other players, communication is really important. So what they'll focus on is the first 30 to 60 seconds of a match, communicating with everyone, over chatting so that they're chatting, talking, and that helps them kind of get into the zone. So for you, again, you have to develop this little personal protocol, this little personal step-by-step process, and write it down so that when you go to your next match that you're executing on the step-by-step process and consciously getting yourself into the zone. Okay? So that's a summary of like how to get into the zone, right? Next, let's talk about how to stay in the zone. And a lot of players get knocked out of the zone when something unfavorable happens. A mistake happens, Perhaps there's some coaches are screaming or some parents are screaming, and it kind of gets you knocked off your groove a little bit. It gets you knocked out of your rhythm in a sense. And so when that happens, and it will happen, okay, that's the thing about this is accepting the fact that you will at some times get distracted. It's okay. How can you bring yourself back to getting in the zone? Okay. And there's a couple ways to do this. Number one, you have to understand that your thoughts affect your emotions and your emotions affect your behaviors. Okay. And you need to be conscious of where your thoughts are going. So if you're getting knocked out of the zone, someone says something in the crowd, a teammate starts yelling at the ref makes a bad call, coach starts yelling at you, or you make a really bad tackle, or perhaps you give up a goal, like something bad happens, or you make a mistake. That moment, your mind may start drifting, and you may start doubting, and you may start having thoughts that are going to negatively affect your emotions and then therefore negatively affect your behaviors. In that moment, you need to hijack those thoughts. For a second, those thoughts might get away from you a little bit. But once you realize it, once you identify that, no, 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 I don't want my thoughts going down this path. They may go down a little bit, that's okay. But as soon as you identify that they're going down the wrong path, you need to consciously bring them back and redirect them down a path that you want. And the way to do that is to consciously think about the right thoughts that you want. What thoughts do you want to put into your mind? And you can do this, you can pre-develop this. So before the match or during the week or whenever it is, writing down words, phrases, sentences that you know if you say to yourself, it's going to help you guide your thoughts down the right path. These are called positive affirmations. They're words, phrases, things that you say to yourself. So self-talk phrases that you say to yourself in those moments to help guide your thoughts down the right path. And if you can get your thoughts going down the right path, this is going to affect your emotions, and your emotions are then going to affect your behaviors. So I know some players that will tell themselves mistakes mean nothing. Pros makes mistakes, or the pros even make mistakes. This is nothing. Get back into the zone, right? Or focus on the next play. Execute the next play. Where do I need to be in this moment? These are the types of things that you want to be focusing on. Or you can even go like if you want to be super positive and really get yourself going. I'm the best player here, right? Give me the ball. I want the ball back. I want the ball back. Those types of things. So those positive affirmations that are going to get you thinking in the right way, re-engaging. And again, you want to write these things down and then keep them with you so you can deploy them in the right moments. Okay. So mistakes mean nothing. Don't worry. Even the pros make mistakes. Execute the next play. I'm a good player. I need the ball back. I'm a good teammate. I need the ball back. I'm the best player on this pitch. Those types of things, right? So pre-writing those, and then I know some players that'll either write those things on their hand, or they'll write them on a note and stick them in their sock, or they'll write it on their shin guard, or they'll write it on their shoe. So something where you're keeping those words and phrases with you, so when the moment happens in the game, you remember to guide those thoughts down the right path. And if you can do that, you're going to be able to stay in the zone, and you're going to be able to have matches and performances where no matter what happens, you get down a goal, you make a bad error, no matter what happens, you're going to be able to respond well and have good performances. Other than that, breathing can really help in those moments. So if you get knocked out of the zone, your thoughts start going down the wrong path, use your positive affirmations to bring it back, and then focus on taking a couple deep breaths. Remember those breaths, thinking about those breaths will bring you back to the current moment, and that will help you get back into the zone and back at playing at your best. So I know this was a lot. Hopefully you took some good notes. Today was about talking about how to get into the zone and also how to stay in the zone. So I hope you found value in this. I hope this serves you well in your upcoming match. Coach Lucas here. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.